Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. It's a real privilege to be present with you all today, and I'm very, very conscious that as career practitioners, you are in a particularly busy period of the time in your academic calendar there in your schools. My name is Adriano De Prato, and I'm the campus director here at LCI, and I'm really delighted to be here with you today and share with you all a little bit about who we are, what makes us different, and how we can continue to support you and your students as they discern their next step post-secondary school. Joining me today are some of my colleagues, Donna Kirkwood, who is our Head of Art, Design and Communication, Darren Arban-Gander, who's our Head of Fashion, Natasha Petrogrubic, who's our Head of Business and Management, Daniel Polidano, who's our Director of Admissions, and in the background there is Frank from our admissions as well. There will be an opportunity at the end of this particular presentation to ask any questions, but don't hesitate to shoot some questions through the chat if there's a burning question that you would really like to be answered. So as we move to the next slide, before we begin, I'd like to actually start with an acknowledgement of country. LCI Melbourne acknowledges the Wurundjeri Wurrung peoples of the Eastern Kulin Nation as the traditional custodians of the land in which our campus is located. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who are on the line with us today. I also, again, want to make a warm welcome to all of you. Your work as career practitioners is so important, and we definitely value the partnership that we share with our secondary schools across Victoria, and particularly in metropolitan Melbourne. From first-hand experience, being in secondary schools pretty much 26 years of my life, I understand that the advice and the guidance that you give and provide young people and also their families has a real impact on the pathways that they choose beyond their schooling with you. We see this as a shared responsibility, working with you to help students step into the futures where their creativity and their interest in commerce and ultimately to see their talents flourish. So as we move to the next slide, this particular slide that you see on the screen in front of you now gives you a bit of a broader perspective of exactly who we are at LCI Melbourne in our wonderful campus here in Collingwood. We are a very boutique higher education provider, and we specialise in art, design, fashion and business and innovation. We pride ourselves on being different by design, and I know Donna is going to unpack what that phrase actually means in a practical sense. That difference is captured in the 3 A's that you see on the screen. We like to believe that we are the best value in Australia's private creative higher education sector, with fully accredited courses and degrees that don't just come with a premium price tag. And of course, for all domestic students, they have access to full fee help. In terms of the next bucket there, the accessible side of things, we're located in Melbourne's creative hub, Collingwood. Our small cohorts and personalised approach means that students receive close mentoring from our academics and modelled support. The other thing that I want to highlight is, of course, we are a great learning environment that caters for neurodivergent support as well as neurotypical students. And I'm sure in your schools you have that kind of breadth of learning needs. The final A that you see on the screen there is accelerated. One of the things that's really important to us is that our degrees that are different by design qualify people to fast track to industry. The beauty part of that is that our data and our statistics show that 100% of our students after 3 years of graduating from us are in full-time employment, with the vast majority in the cultural and creative industries. You complete a degree in 2 years, no gaps, no delays. Our focus is on real-world hands-on learning from day one, and we have a very, very distinctive commitment to collaboration with leading industry partners, and the heads of faculty will explore that a little bit further, and Daniel will even highlight some as we go. So at the core of our focus, we empower each student to develop their own identity. We develop each student to develop their agency and their mastery with their learning, and ultimately we help them develop meaningful careers, preparing students not just for jobs, but of course for the lives that they're going to live. So on the next slide, we're going to explore that a little bit further. It's one thing for me to explain these programs and who we are as a higher education institute, but it's great to hear from our students. And this slide here captures the essence of how they feel about their learning experience with us. 85% of our students provide, that's a huge rating, and that's an overall student satisfaction rating, where 77% is the national average. In fact, that 85% on average in the last few years in terms of their satisfaction is the highest percentage of any private provider in the creative area across metropolitan Melbourne at the moment. So we're exceptionally proud about that. It's wonderful that 94% of our students are also very satisfied by the support they get from our student support team, a very vital component of their onboarding experience. The data that you see in front of you, that's not just our internal data, that's an external system of data that we have that every institute of higher education participates in. So behind these numbers are stories though. Stories of individual students who are thriving in this environment, where we recognise their individuality, where we nurture their creativity, and we equip them ultimately for real world practice. So when students choose LCI Melbourne, they are choosing a pathway that is creative, that is industry connected, and that is ultimately future focused. To explore that a little bit further, I'm now going to pass it over to the wonderful Donna Kirkwood.
Hi, thank you. Thanks, Adriano. As Adriano just mentioned before, I'm Donna Kirkwood. I'm Head of Art, Design and Communication, and I'm going to share with you some insights of our flagship degree, the Bachelor of Design Arts. If we could move to this next slide, that'd be great. Thank you. So the Bachelor of Design Arts is a fast-track program, so your students can complete their degree in just 2 years, giving them a head start in the job market. There's no ATAR requirement, and they won't face traditional exams. Instead, all assessments are hands-on and portfolio-based, which means they graduate with a tangible work that they can show to their employers. They can choose from 6 specialist disciplines: graphic and digital design, interior design, visual arts, filmmaking and photography, and interactive design, all taught by industry professionals. That's an important point for you to share also with your students, that they'll be learning directly from people who are active in the field, not just from textbooks. So we are different by design. Our degree certainly is built that way. We run 3 trimesters a year, and each trimester has a clear theme: exploration, foundation, issues, global, industry, and self. For your students, that means that their studies feel really connected and really purposeful, with every subject linking back to professional practice. It's a balance of knowledge, skill, and application, so that they leave with the ability to think creatively, work collaboratively, and deliver on real-world briefs. You can tell them that every project is industry aligned, and every skill that they learn is something that they'll use in their career. Next slide, if we could. The creative industries are growing fast, and that's actually really, really good news for your students also. Graphic and digital design is the biggest part of Australia's creative economy, with strong demand for graduates in branding, advertising, publishing, and digital media. The games industry is expanding worldwide, creating opportunities for students in graphic and digital design and visual arts through areas like concept art, animation, and user experience. Film and TV production in Australia is also booming, which is great for filmmaking and photography students looking to work as videographers, editors, producers, or content creators. And interior design jobs are expected to grow at almost 20% in the next few years, opening the doors for interior design graduates to work in residential, commercial, and exhibition spaces. No matter which discipline they choose, your students can graduate ready to work locally or internationally. Could be freelance, or perhaps start their own business, or join established creative teams. And what's even more exciting is that our students just don't choose a major, they choose a sub-major. This means they can focus deeply on their main discipline, like graphic and digital design or interior design, while adding a second area of expertise, such as filmmaking and photography, visual arts, or interactive design. It's a fantastic way for students to broaden their skills, to make themselves more versatile and stand out in the job market. For example, a graphic design major with a filmmaking sub-major could move seamlessly between projects and video content creation, giving them a career option and more value to their employers. If we could move to the next. For students who need a little bit more time to build on their foundational skills or perhaps confidence before starting and embarking onto a degree, we also offer a one-year diploma, a diploma in graphic design. It's a strong foundation that focuses on practical design tools and techniques with the option to transition directly into the Bachelor of Design Arts, with credits applied once they're ready. So when you're advising students, you can present them with two clear pathways. They can jump straight into the degree or begin with a diploma as a stepping stone. On behalf of the Arts of Design and Communication, I'd actually like to now introduce Darren Arabinganda, who is our Head of Fashion. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. There, very nice introduction there. Okay, hi. As Donna said so eloquently, my name's Darren Arabinganda, and I am the Head of Fashion here at LCI Melbourne. So I'd like to give you an insight into our fashion and costume major within the Bachelor of Design Arts. This major blends traditional craftsmanship with digital innovation. Our students not only learn how to design garments, but also how to position themselves in this evolving global industry. LCI Melbourne is the only institute in Victoria offering a combined fashion and costume major. Students are encouraged to develop their own creative voice. We are different by design. Next slide. So, what our students learn. From the second trimester, students are immersed in a hands-on studio practice. They learn about silhouette, garment construction, illustration, trend forecasting, and sustainable design practices. Our curriculum balances conceptual exploration with technical mastery, so students graduate with both creativity and practical skills. And most importantly, every student builds a professional portfolio. This showcases their work, which they can take directly to industry, whether applying for roles or establishing their own particular brand. LCI Melbourne is one of the most affordable, accessible, accelerated options in Victoria. We are taught on this particular course by extremely specialised staff with with a lot of knowledge in ready-to-wear, couture, bespoke, and high-level design. This blends conceptual design with professional technical mastery, which our staff are very, very experienced at. Next slide. One of the things that makes our program unique in this direct industry connection is the fact that we are proud to partner with PayPal Fashion Week and Melbourne Fashion Week, which gives our students exclusive opportunities to showcase their work on many of the major stages. These partnerships aren't just about visibility, they're about giving students the experience of working to real briefs, collaborating with professionals and seeing what it makes to thrive fast-paced creative environments. Many of our graduates tell us these experiences were the defining moments in their studies, when they realized that they could then see themselves in the industry, which we believe is very important. Next slide. So our graduate pathways. Graduates from fashion and costume major go on to diverse roles, including fashion design, costume design, textile, pattern cutter, garment technician, fashion buyer. So we encompass all different careers. So it's not just one particular thing. So many of our students feel like they're all being pushed directly into fashion design. We believe there's a big scope of careers that we can offer here. It's a discipline with endless pathways where the students want to work on established houses or launch their own label to explore emerging fields like sustainable design and digital fashion. With Australia and the textile fashion industry contributing more than 27 billion of the economy and employing 500,000 people, these opportunities are both broad and growing. Fashion accounts for 16% of Australia's creative industries, a major career sector. We collaborate with industry mentors and partners providing a legitimate career pathway, which again, we believe is very important here at LCI. Next slide. We also offer a diploma of fashion design. So for students who may need a shorter and more focused entry point, We also offer the Diploma of Fashion Design. This is a one-year qualification that develops technical and creative foundations in garment construction and textile branding. It's an ideal stepping stone for students who want to enter the industry sooner, or they may want to build skills and competence before going into the Bachelor of Arts. Successful completion of the diploma provides credits towards this degree, meaning students continue their studies without losing time. It's a great pathway for those students who are passionate about fashion and might not yet be ready to commit to the full degree. So this is actually a good way of segueing into our BDA. So this is actually a plus point that we believe we're offering here. Anyway, I should be quiet and I shall pass on to Natasha. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Hi, I'm Natasha, the Head of Business and Management at LCI Melbourne. And I'd like to introduce to you our newest degree, the Bachelor of Business and Innovation. Next slide, please. Okay, so the Bachelor of Business and Innovation is our newest degree, and it really is designed to sit at the intersection of creativity and commerce. At the heart of this program, we really balance knowledge, skill, and application. And I think the most important part of this degree to understand is that it is 60% a business and management course with a real entrepreneurial lens for our students. So it is a fully accredited business degree, and it runs for the same amount of time as the BDA, 2 years. And it pretty much is your launch pad to become that trailblazer in the creative and cultural industries, but also empower students to either take their own venture or to work in the business fields. Next slide, please. The course map is very much structured as the BDA, but also I'd also like to mention that as a part of our business degree, we do not have any exams. All assessments are project-based, which is, I think, really important for your students to know. And with the degree, the structure is the different by design degree. So we start off year one with themes around exploration, foundation, and issues, which the first year really builds up the students around an entrepreneurial mindset with business principles to be able to enter their second year with the idea of their own startup or their own innovational ideas, or working in other fields of business like marketing, consulting, in startup tech, whatever it may be. So basically you're seeing them go through the first year of understanding those principles and then entering their second year in launching their own startup venture by the end of their studies. I guess the question is, why does this matter? So because the world of work is transforming so much at the moment, it is said that by 2030, it's expected that there will be a net increase of 78 million jobs globally, driven by new industries like AI, renewable energy, and fintech, alongside changes in demographics and the global economy. At the same time, 92 million current roles are expected to be displaced. This means that the most valuable skills we can give our students are adaptability, creativity, and the confidence to turn their ideas into opportunities. Our Bachelor of Business and Innovation really equips them to do exactly that, preparing graduates not just to participate in the future economy, but be a part of it, be a part of shaping it. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what does that mean in our practice? As you can see from our statistics on the screen, 122 billion Australia's creative and cultural industries contribute over 122.3 billion, to the economy each year. And our graduates go on to become business development managers, entrepreneurs, consultants, marketing and brand strategists, social enterprise founders, working in e-commerce. There's quite a big list there that you can see, but there are many opportunities in the business and management field that they can take on, apart from creating their own startups and innovating industries that we don't even know about yet. So now, in short, it's not just about preparing our students for existing jobs, but it's preparing them to create and lead the jobs of the future. So with saying that in mind, I will now hand you over to Daniel, our Director of Admissions.
Thank you to the whole team who's been online this morning, and welcome to those career practitioners who have joined us. So I'm Daniel, the Director of Admissions here, and I want to talk a little bit about life at LCI Melbourne. The heads of faculty this morning have touched on the small class sizes and the diverse sort of projects that the students work through, and it really is small but mighty, our cohorts. I mean, allowing students to come through, enter in, and they're in amongst it with a really small cohort that they become really good friends with, and it becomes a bit of an engine room and a hive of activity within the studio spaces. In amongst it with the mentors as well is really, really important. The mentors know them by names, they know them where their projects are up to, and they provide really deep hands-on support to our students. It's second to none. And, you know, in comparison to sitting in really big lecture theatres at some of the other institutions, I think it really speaks volumes to the level of commitment we have here at LCI Melbourne to providing an exceptional student experience. Another thing just to touch on is the range of campus activities and events that happen. So not only is that centred around the student experience, so we obviously have things like orientation and a range of different events throughout the trimester. I'm just looking at the team, but we've had pizza days, ice cream days, barbecues, Halloween, those type of activities for our students to come in and immerse themselves in and get amongst, you know, the hive of activity on campus, but also a range of different exhibitions that happen right here on our campus. We have an active gallery in the space downstairs, and just last week we opened our intermission exhibition, which is an opportunity for students at the halfway point within their degrees to showcase their work out to industry. You know, we have a really glitzy, glamoury opening night for them, invite through industry, invite through influencers, and it becomes a real you know, opportunity for them to start to showcase themselves into the world prior to them leaving their degree. There's obviously other opportunities to showcase as part of it as well. We have a graduate exhibition, we have the PayPal Melbourne Fashion Festival that Darren spoke to, and you know, a range of other activity as well. On top of that, our students also work quite closely with industry throughout the degree. So the mentors spoke to these, but, you know, just some highlights are we currently have one of our graphic design students working with our partner Football Australia in Sydney as part of a 6-week internship that is part of that arrangement in terms of that partnership, and that allows that student in particular to have a bit of a launching pad into industry upon completion. But you know, a range of our other industry partners or companies that our students have gone on to work with are listed below as well. And I've touched on those exhibitions. We also have visiting artists right throughout the year as well that come through, and our students have opportunities to support or really engage with them quite closely on their exhibitions that are run on campus as well. So small but very much mighty. The students have an exceptional world-class, you know, above standard experience in terms of studying with us, and absolutely have an access to industry, which is fantastic as well. If you can move to the next slide. Thank you, Frank. So just touching on how students can apply and the entry requirements, the nitty-gritty stuff as you guys work with students throughout VTAC Timely applications and students submitting preferences. So all our courses are open through VTAC this year, and students interested in the Bachelor of Design Arts will have opportunity to preference based on their major of preference, and they can obviously preference as many of those majors as they like. The benefit of preferencing us and applying to us is the student is allocated their own admissions advisor, and these become their cheerleader right up until the point of enrolment. So any queries around things like fees, timetabling, application process, Zoe and Frank, who's joined us online this morning, are there to support that student every step of the way. If it's about bringing themselves onto campus, if they want to bring their parents along to campus as well, we more than welcome, you know, as many people through to support that student along that journey, and as many times as they like as well, to make sure that they fully understand the course, and there's that opportunity to also meet with mentors as well well as part of that process as well. And in particular, for the Bachelor of Design Arts, there is an admissions consultation that happens. This is, for lack of a better word, an interview, but it's not a fully structured interview. It's more an opportunity for my admissions advisors to connect in with the student and make sure that they've considered what major, what does the course look like? Are they entering into the right one? Quite often we have students who are tossing up between a diploma and a bachelor, for example. So going through those kind of differences and working out where the student is at, what they've previously studied as well, what their technical capabilities are too, and allowing for that conversation to flow to work out the best option for them. In terms of entry requirements, so they remain the same for the Bachelor of Design Arts, and that's all majors, the Diploma of Fashion Design and the Diploma of Graphic Design. So we just require Year 12 for entry, and that can be with ATAR, unscored, or those completing a vocational major. And students who have also completed the units listed there through VCE 3 and 4 can also bypass that admissions consultation. So that just works out. Each student will still be contacted, but they don't need that formal interview stage. And it just allows through when they're going through and submitting VTAC preferences, it becomes really streamlined for those students, which is fantastic. We do also have quite a number of students who, and you may still be in touch with your graduated cohorts, for students who, withdrew from Year 12 prior to completing, but were facing financial disadvantage or medical conditions or any sort of personal disadvantage that align with the entry schemes with VTAC. We have an alternate submission process for them by where they can submit a folio for entry. So any queries regarding that for students that you've previously worked with, or that are potentially going through that path in your current cohorts, there are options for those students as well, particularly in the Bachelor of Design Arts and those 2 diplomas. For our Bachelor of Business and Innovation, we do have a 60 ATAR score requirement. An admissions consultation is not required, and that is the only prerequisite, is that ATAR score. So there's no alternate prerequisites. For students that do have, have faced personal disadvantage similar to what I mentioned previously, they have the opportunity to enter into that course with a 50 ATAR score. So that removes 10 ATAR points there. So just for consideration for those students as well. If you are counselling international students, the requirements remain relatively the same. Fee structure is a little bit different, which is pretty standard across sort of the sector, but they will also need to provide English proficiency if they haven't studied in Australia for the past 2 years. So just factoring that in with your discussions should you be counselling any international students who are interested. If you can move to the next slide. This is, I think, my favourite slide, because we have open day next Saturday, the 30th of August, a really exciting day for us, welcoming in students from all around Australia and some international as well. There's opportunities for campus tours to get amongst it with workshops. We'll have a passport available that students can utilise and go stamp with the various mentors and go into the draw to win a $500 flight centre voucher. There's free food, there's coffee, there's an exhibition I mentioned before as well, by which students can go through and explore some of the work that our students have taken part in. And there's just most importantly, there's the opportunity to engage with our academics as well as the students on campus, and give students and particularly parents, as they're going through, the confidence in the students' next step, and allowing them to feel comfortable within our spaces and get an understanding of where they will be studying potentially next year or in the next few years if we've got younger audiences coming through. So students can register right up until the day. And like I said, should you or any students have any queries, you can get in touch with myself or the team. Before we do break for questions, pretty rude of me, but I actually would like to just formally introduce Frank, who has likely been in touch with a number of you. Frank is our admissions advisor that is dedicated to school experiences and engagements. So if you, we're predominantly past that major expo period. So the team were really, really busy over the past few months servicing each of the tertiary information service events, each of the expos for schools. But if you do have any upcoming, or I know we're already receiving save the dates for next year, feel free to shoot them through to Frank. Alternatively, we do also have a range of workshops which we're able to deliver on campus, and some of them at your schools as well. So these are across each of our disciplines. So feel free to get in touch if you'd like to book anything in, and we can sort of accommodate any year level, year 10 and above normally works best for these, but any sort of number of students as well. So we've seen students as cohorts as small as 10, but some in the range of 50 to 60 as well on campus, and we can do workshops running at the same time and have students swap. So that's something you're interested in for this year or into next year. Feel free to get in touch. Where, you know, our campus is the students' playground as well, so we more than welcome that.
Now, whilst Daniel catches his breath, I'm going to give Daniel a moment just to catch his breath and breathe. And I do realise there's a question already that's been posted, and Daniel will be able to respond to you, Victoria. I just wanted to add one other thing. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you that's online here today. And the reason why I want to highlight that is because in the last 3 consecutive intakes, we have seen a 100% increase in our enrolments across our Bachelor of Design Arts and our Bachelor of Business and Innovation qualifications. And that's partly because of the work that you continue to do with the students within your learning communities, and our wonderful admissions team led by Daniel and supported by Frank and Zoe and many others. That statistic is really important. What we are finding more and more is that students from metropolitan Melbourne, as well as regional and remote areas of Victoria, they want the city experience. And of course, we understand there's a whole breadth of public universities and other providers that can do that. But what our unique proposition really here is that we are a very intimate campus, and a campus that is so accessible off the main street here on Smith Street. And so they want that city experience, but what they also get is the understanding, the connection that they build as if they were in a school community. So that the parallels are really, really strong. And again, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's been present here online today for the work that you continue to do to promote it. LCI Melbourne, we are one of many campuses across the globe. We have campuses in Barcelona, in Spain. We have 2 campuses in Canada. We have campuses in Mexico and Costa Rica, Colombia, Indonesia, Tunisia, and Morocco. So our reach is global, but we act locally. And we're really, really excited to be able to invite you to come along to this open day. If you haven't experienced our campus, it is second to none. And I know I'm a little biased in that regard, being the campus director, but when you do walk into this campus, it's very hard to want to leave. And so I encourage you to if you're available next Saturday, to come along and experience it for yourself. I encourage you to encourage your students and their families to come along as well. But Daniel, do you want to maybe move over to any of those questions or give any clarification?
Yes. So I've just seen one of the questions through the chat. We will absolutely share the recording and the presentation following this event. So that's completely fine to all those that have registered, and you are welcome to share that within your schools as well. So I know there's you may be one career practitioner in a team, so absolutely feel free to share that. And if you need any specific collateral as well, we have a course guide and we also have unit outlines. So we'd be more than happy to post some out, or we can also send Frank along to drop some things off at your school as well. So whatever will work for you all. That's the only question currently in the chat, but you are more than welcome to add questions through the chat, or I think we've allowed for each of you to sort of unmute and turn on videos. So if that's easier, welcome any questions. Oh, sorry, Darren.
Yeah, Daniel, I was just going to say, on the open day, we'll have many of our students working on the Melbourne Fashion Week, getting their garments ready and preparing. So it's going to be, our workshop will be live with lots of the students working on their creative outputs, and we've got some amazing garments they're putting together. So it would be really interesting for you guys to come over and see what's happening in the fashion studios, because we've got some incredible outcomes. Some of the lab 4 and 5 students are doing some really good work. So it's a really good idea if you can come across and see what work's going on, because we're really proud of what our students are producing over here.
Absolutely. And I know we're embargoed from speaking about the students that have selected, but there's a
We can't give
handful of
names.
students selected. That's right. Were there any questions outside of those, the one in the chat?
Clearly, we've done such an exceptional job, Daniel, in explaining everything.
I know. Fantastic. Well, if there's no questions, I'll just check the chat one more time. But thank you so much for attending this morning, bright and early, right on 9 a.m. In amongst school chaos, I'm sure. So really, really appreciate your time this morning. And if you have any questions, we will be in touch later on today with the presentation and the recording. Feel free to respond to that or reach out to Frank or I individually as well. Thank you so much. Thanks, and thanks to our mentors.
And remember, choose different.
Thank you. Bye all.